Bulking as a skinny guy is close to impossible. Personally, I'm skinny and I've been skinny my whole life. And there was only a one period of time where I actually did a concentrated effort at bulking, which was back in college, like back, almost like 10 years ago now that I think about it. But when I was like 19, 20 years old, I was working out every single day and eating as much as possible every single day and actually tracking somewhat tracking my macros like as much as I could at that time. And that was the only time I actually was able to bulk up, I actually gain weight. And I'm gonna give you guys some of the key takeaways and tips that pretty much helped me with my bulking. All right. And the first one is when you are bulking, you want to make sure you are tracking as much as you can, right? Tracking what time you eat, how often you eat, and what you ate. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times when you are just going about your day, you kind of just lose track of time sometimes. Like personally, especially as like a skinny guy, like I can just not eat for hours and be okay. I don't know why. Just even when I do get hungry, I still don't even need to eat, which is kind of weird, right? Most people or some people don't even get hungry. They eat on like a schedule. But basically, whenever you guys are eating, you want to make sure you're eating protein and nutrient dense foods. Personally, when I was bulking though, I mostly ate like high calorie foods as well. You know, I would try to squeeze in some, treats here and there, but it was mostly chicken and rice, and that was the majority of what I eat. Chicken and rice, sriracha, and that was pretty much it. I would just eat that on repeat almost all day, every day. I don't recommend it. It wasn't the best, but it did gain results. I would pump out chicken and rices, and I would pump out protein shakes, mass gainer protein shakes. Okay, and that's getting into my next tip is buy some mass gainer. Even though there's a lot of protein options out there, whey, casein, mass gainers, all this and that and the other. Just get yourself one of them. You gotta make sure you're getting in the calories, which is really important for bulking. Which personally I have a trouble with doing. Right, getting enough calories is so difficult for me for some reason. Like every time I try to eat food, I don't like to use sauce. I don't like to use like too much flavor whenever I make food. You know what I'm saying? So that's where the issue comes from. When it's too flavorful, like it kind of rubs me the wrong way. That's why that's one of my biggest issues is being allergic to flavor. I'm kidding. I'm not allergic to flavor. I love good flavor, but sometimes it's overwhelming. I like to have a like calm texture. I like to taste the food for the food. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm eating beef, I want to know I'm eating beef. I don't want to be tasting like fucking some Cajun garlic something. I don't know. Like it's beef, bro. I want to make sure I'm eating beef. Pause. Another thing you can track besides your food, okay, this is getting into the next step, is you want to track your weight, right? Daily, on a daily basis, you want to just track your weight. It doesn't matter if it's at the gym. It doesn't matter if you do it in the morning of the day, at the end of the day. You want to have a consistent, like, timetable of you're checking in at this time and checking in your weight, right? And then you want to track it. If you don't track it, that means you're not gonna know if you're actually gaining weight or not, right? The biggest problem for most people when they gain weight is they're not consistently checking. Oh, am I actually making progress? Am I actually gaining weight? You know what I'm saying? If you don't track it, you're not gonna know what's working, what's not working. Right? If you eat enough, like consistently eat a lot, and you're seeing, oh, the weight's slowly gaining up. Okay, what I eat before the day before is making my weight go up a little bit, right? That should let you know in the back of your head, like, oh, this is working. And if it's not working, then you change up whatever your current diet is. You know what I'm saying? That way you can pinpoint exactly what's causing the hindrance, basically. Now, these are the only two things that I've actually used to help me bulk. But besides that, I also trained a lot during this time. Like I wasn't just like eating and just like weighing myself, right? I was also hitting the gym almost every day, sometimes even twice a day. So I was building a lot of muscle. So when you build muscle, muscle does weigh a lot more than fat. So you want to keep that in mind as well. When you build muscle, you're going to gain weight. So also hit the gym while you're doing this, right? Consume enough protein so the muscles build back stronger, builds back a little bit heftier. You know what I'm saying? The thickness comes in. You really want to focus on lifting heavy too when you're at the gym, trying to get more weight up, pushing yourself to go heavier each time. And I'm not saying go so heavy to the point where you get hurt. Obviously, I'm not saying that. I'm saying pick a weight where you're challenging yourself, where you have to like push up and you're shaking and you're struggling. Okay, that's the best way for you to actually bulk up. I'm mainly making this video because I had one of my viewers reach out to me asking for some advice to bulk up, and he's a vegetarian. I'm not a vegetarian, so it's tough to give you like any diet suggestions without doing some research. But if you are vegetarian, I would recommend like just asking ChatGPT come up with some vegetarian dishes. And personally, whenever I bulked, I always did like a balance between clean and dirty bulking. Like I never was fully dirty bulking. I wasn't fully clean bulking. I was kind of like in that little in between. You know what I'm saying? I'm a human. I like to live life and enjoy the finer things in life. Sometimes indulge myself in some candy or whatever. And that's okay. If it fits into your macros, if it fits into your, diet, then by all means have it. But make sure you track it though. The key thing is you track it. It fits into everything. Make sure it's, within reason, and, indulge with your life a little bit. But you don't want to do it excessively. Remember, everything in moderation, even as you're bulking, right? Yes, you want to eat more food. Yes, you want to bulk, but you don't want to bulk to the point where you get sick, right? You're eating so much garbage that you feel terrible. That's not what you want. You don't want to be having like diarrhea or like throwing up. That's the last thing you want. Then you're gonna mess up your bulk because now you're losing what you just ate, right? So counterproductive. So those are the only tips that I really used to bulk up back in the day. I don't bulk up anymore because I don't know how to. Honestly, I want to do it, but I'm just not good at it, to be honest. I just like I look better skinnier too, but I would like to get a little bit more size, add a little bit more weight onto my frame, build up my legs a little bit more, develop more athletic body type, and yeah, just constantly keep improving myself because lately I have been slacking. I'm not gonna lie, I have been slacking. Been slacking on YouTube videos, been slacking on the workouts, been slacking on cleaning up, been slacking on just a lot of the stuff that I should be doing. I've been only just playing Marvel Rivals. Addicted to that game right now. I'm trying to pick Grandmaster and it's not looking too good. I keep getting stuck in Diamond, but we will see. We will see. I'll let you guys know in the next video if I make it or not. And make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check out some of my other videos. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.